I'm vengeance.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Mark 90. We're on 90, y'all, of the Super Civil Servants podcast. My name is Greg, the Bat Daddy 52, and with me, as always, my homeboy, Nathan. What's going on, buddy?
Man, I really dig that. I really like that opening video there. I like how the logo comes out of the force push, and it's really nice.
Oh, dude, I've been working on new ones, too. Like, I'd like to switch them up and just keep everybody on their toes. I've got some pretty cool ones in the works. So, thank you. That's awesome.
But I'm doing good. Doing good. It's been a pretty relaxed week. We got some good stuff to talk about. As far as I know, there hasn't been any real major comic book news other than Captain America 4 being announced. But I'm ready to talk about the stuff we do have. Dude,
I gotta be honest with the news. I haven't been on Twitter. I haven't been paying attention to news or anything. You know, I'm not driving right now in the job that I'm at, so I'm not listening to podcasts nearly as much as I was. Just news is out of my thing right now. I'm just kind of watching stuff that's fun and enjoyable, and when something cool comes out, it's great. So, Sarah's with us too. What's up, Sarah?
Hey guys, I'm back.
Making the return.
I know how you totally feel because oh my gosh, work has like kept me like super busy. I've been on my toes and just here and there and everywhere and just so tired.
Yes.
But I have started watching things again. So I finally got into Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I wanted to wait until it was over so I could binge the whole thing.
Right.
So, you know, it was kind of like, because WandaVision was driving me nuts. I was just like, oh my God, what's happening next week?
I
guess the boys kind of like, I don't know, watching the boys and Umbrella Academy and all that just kind of spoiled me a little.
Yeah. I think I know a lot of people that are in that mindset of wanting to watch it just all at once in one shot instead of having.
Now I did rewatch Superman and Lois because now since the first 5 episodes are on HBO Max, so I saw the first episode, but I hadn't seen the other ones because obviously I hate the CW hat. I hate it. I just want to be like,
Sarah, I'm with you.
I hate it
because I watched the first episode on the CW app. And I was like, I did enjoy it, but I haven't went back. And now that's on HBO Max. Like I kind of.
Oh yeah, it was done one afternoon. I was done.
Well, I want to wait till all the episodes get out, so that way, if it does, you know, if I really get into it, I can see the whole 15 episode season and be.
Well,
and
the thing I liked about this was like the first 5 episodes, the way they set it up. I feel like I'm in a good spot. So whenever they do start the other episode or you know the remainder of the season, I don't think I'm gonna be too out of place. So now I'm just kind of like. I see how it's shaping up. So this is going to be interesting.
Right. I also wanted to say, you know, happy belated 27th birthday to our very own Sarah here because you
thank you.
Lee's coach turned 27, so you know.
There you go.
Yes.
Man, dude, you know, today started so crazy. It started crazy. It started terribly, and it's just gotten progressively better as the day's going on. Like the first thing that happened when I pulled into work this morning was I got out of my truck and I heard this hissing noise, and I ran over a screw as soon as I pulled into work. And my spare tire was not underneath my truck. So, yeah, that's how my day started. But it ended with watching the finale of Invincible and watching Mortal Kombat, and then doing the show. So it's like cryptocurrency, man. It's going up. I'm sure in the morning when I go to work, it's going to dip back down real quick.
Well, but Greg, you can't have a spare. You can't have a flat 2 years ago. Put your spare tire on, and then here we are 2 years later. Like, damn it, my fucking spare's not on the tire. You had the tire with the nail in it 2 years ago, just in the back, going, I'll get to it. Damn it, I'll get to it.
No, you know, I don't know why, but my spare tire was in my storage unit, and I don't know why I knew it was there, and I didn't ever go get it out. I just knew it was there. So. Yeah, but the other thing is my spare tire is a full-size spare for the tires that are supposed to be on my truck.
Sure.
My actual truck has smaller tires than it's supposed to be, so it sits, you know, a few inches lower.
Wow.
So now I have a full-size spare that's the actual regular tire and 3 smaller tires. Yeah, it's crazy. So I got to get that fixed tomorrow. But it's been that kind of day.
I get it. I get it.
Well, what do you want to talk about first, man? We only got kind of 3 things. Well, Nathan, you got a little bit of news you want to say, or some things you want to talk
Well,
about?
I was just gonna say that. I mean, we can talk about the first couple. Like, well, if anybody's been listening for a while, you know that I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. Like, I love the series. I didn't hate the ending, but it's definitely more about the books. But they released the first, or they didn't release, but the first like kind of pictures were sniped of House of the Dragon, which is going to be like the Game of Thrones prequel. That's going to be about the Targaryen Civil War. And Matt Smith from Doctor Who. Is that Matt Smith? Is it from Doctor Who? He was one of the doctors.
That sounds right.
I'm pretty sure it's his name, but he's playing Damien Targaryen. And if anybody hears, if you're watching the video, I've got the George R. R. Martin's Fire and Blood, which is like the Targaryen history. It's like a history book. It's not really like one of the other books, but you get to the heir to the throne, and man, like, because there's a lot. This series is going to start with a lot of Targaryens and a lot of dragons, and if it's popular and it goes through 7, 8, 10 seasons, whatever they decide to do, by the time we get to the end of it, the Targaryens are going to be damn near extinct because of the Targaryen Civil War. Like, they have factions between their own houses, because it all goes. I'm not to get in too deep and nerdy, but like if you go back into it, like the Council of 101 AC, which stands for After the Conquest, like Jaehaerys went in, like the Great King went in there and set up how the line of succession would work, and basically made it where like women were the last resort. So like even if like you're basically like, if there was a male that was 2 years old, he would come before the seasoned woman. I don't know. It's gonna get, but it basically goes through. That's what starts the Civil Wars, because there's one king, he had named his daughter, the only one, like that was his heir, and when he died, like it got passed to his grandson, and there comes this whole goddamn thing. But anyway, like even in the history part of it, it's really interesting, and Damien's a really cool character, and like I'm really pumped for this. If they put half as much love and care into, I know everybody wants to shit on the last season of Game of Thrones, but let's say the first 5 to 6 seasons, if they put as much love and care into the first 5 as they did this one, like, oh yeah, we're in for a treat. And this is basically just like a Cliff Notes. Like it gives you the Cliff Notes of the shit, so you have so much time to flesh it out. You know what I mean? It gives you a skeleton of what happened. There's some poignant things in here. It gives you the big things like any history book would do, but there's so much room to flesh it out. And I'm really pumped, because like I said, I'm a huge Thrones fan. I love the world of Ice and Fire and George's writing. Matter of fact, I'm doing a reread or re-listen of the Game of Thrones books. I've already finished the first one. I'm 3/4 of the way done with the second one, and these are like 40-hour long books on audio tape and shit. So like I'm hammering. Like I love this shit. I love it. So I just want to say I'm really pumped for that. If there's any other Thrones fans out there, you can see it. They're building sets, they're building castles, they're building stuff, and like there's just so much potential in there. Because if anybody's watched Game of Thrones, all those great houses like the Starks, the Lannisters, the Tullys, Aarons, all that, they're going to be in here, but it's going to be new characters that we don't know. Like, because all those great houses will still be there, but it'll be different people in charge. I don't know. I'm fucking pumped for it. And if anybody else knows it, I think they should be pumped too.
So here's my question about it. I watched the first episode of Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. And that's about as deep as I've gotten into it. Not that I didn't enjoy it, just never gotten around to it. Maybe one day I will. Is it going to be kind of like Walking Dead, where they did The Walking Dead and they did Fear of Walking Dead, which was a prequel, right? And people just didn't come back. Like, are diehard Game of Thrones fans going to come back because they love that series so much, or did the last season kill it?
Now here's the interesting thing is the books. The reason why the show got picked up by HBO, because people came to George wanting to do it as a movie, and he said no, because it wouldn't have if you read the first book of his, it's so dense. And the show did a great job. Like everything that happens in season 1 is almost the entire book. They combine a few characters and some small moments and omit a few small things, but basically beat for beat, that first season is the first book. And now it got to be a worldwide phenomenon when everybody got there. So you're going to lose some of those people that came in who were just there to go, oh, well, everybody else is watching it. And then they ended up liking it. I'm not dismissing them. You know what I mean? But and they came in and like, oh, this last season, it's tainted. F George, Dan and Dave, fuck these, whatever. So those people won't be there. But there is still, like, you can go on the Reddit forums and stuff. Like for Winds of Winter, the 6th book that George has been going to have come out for like 11 years, 10 years now. There are still so, like, I'm so deep into theories and things that are going to happen in the book, because his writing is so dense, and like he'll bring a character into book 1 and we'll bring him back to like book 4 and they turn out to be this kid. You're like, holy shit. So like
Yeah.
But I say all this to say yes, like they're gonna have they're not gonna have the massive numbers that they have, but you're gonna have your hardcore book people in it that are gonna come in and check it out, and the people
people
love
still
the
have
show,
interest. They still have
people
interest.
that love the show despite it are gonna check it out, and it'll be up to the showrunners and them to do just as good a job to bring in the mainstream to where you're getting massive numbers like the latter seasons of Thrones did.
Okay. Yeah. It's something I'm going to get around to is Game of Thrones. I just never have got to do it. But everything I say like that,
you got a list like this long.
Yeah. Well, everything I say like that, like Walking Dead and Breaking Bad, like stuff that I should have watched when it came out or whatever. When I end up watching it, I burn right through it and I end up loving it. So I'm sure that when I start Game of Thrones and really focus time on it, I'll do the same. What else? You had something else, didn't you? Or maybe we were just talking comics.
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I've just been.
We were just talking comics.
been
I know you mentioned something about Captain America 4. Now
Yeah,
I kind of like glossed over that, but
Cat 4 is coming out. I mean, if you've seen Falcon and Winter Soldier, I know. We didn't talk about the finale. I still haven't watched it. Yes, I know. I'm one of the only people. I get it. I know. But that Anthony Mackie will be in Captain America 4, which right on. The suit looks cool. I've seen all the pictures. I've got the gist of what happened. Spoiler. I know Elaine from Seinfeld comes in and she's like this big person in there. Like, she's like Madam Hydra or a Madam Hydra. So I'm waiting for Jerry and Kramer and George to come in too. But
Does she age?
Louise Dreyfus is a hell of an actress. So I'm not taking anything away. She's not pigeonholed to that, but I just think it's like Elaine from Seinfeld is in the MCU.
Yeah.
What?
It's funny because that's all I'll ever see her as. I've seen her in so many things, but that's all I'll ever see her as. But she just doesn't age, man.
Oh no,
it's
she
so
doesn't.
insane.
She ages like a fine wine. There are very few celebrity women that, as they get older,
She's like Reba McEntire.
Her, J-Lo. There's a couple of them that you look at them and you go, "What the hell happened? These women fell up." Like, you know what I mean? Like they just. Look
I know. It's like, like you said, it's
up.
like just the older they get, it's like, oh.
Yeah, like Gwen Stefani, she's one of them too. Like it's just you're just stunned by somehow. So unfortunately, I reached my peak at, probably 15, so it's all been downhill from here. So
I don't know if I ever had a peak.
Yeah, that's probably a better way to put it.
That's my thing. Yeah, more like a plateau. Hold on, but all right.
I've been like I said, if we're talking comics, I started up 3 issues into Under the Red Hood because I've only ever seen the animated movie so far. Really liking it. I've got all 3 of the omnibuses, like we talked about, of the Sandman, and I've made it. The first one is it's like 1,040 pages, and I've made it through 250 pages of it or something. And it's covered all of the audio drama. Like I've read all of that and probably a couple issues past that, or you know what I mean. It's good. Like there's some stuff coming in the second. I haven't even made it all the way through, but there's some stuff coming that's going to be cool in that audio drama.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
There's the man I need to wreck right there. I'm glad.
No! Hey, no! You've already texted me. No! You've already texted me.
I need to publicly call him a dick on the show here on air because I dicked him in text, and now here we go. But we'll get there.
Where's the clean puppy at?
Clean puppy is having the zoomies right now because he, of course, he got out of the bath, but also. He is currently sick. He has a parasite, and
what you got?
It's called Giardia. It's apparently it's very common in puppies. So much so that they basically give it to themselves, with them like eating their own poop and stuff. It's really gross.
Yeah, so
but
is he on a wormer right now?
So the vet, what they did to make sure that he eats.
Fresh.
To make sure that he is eating all of his medicine, they gave us a 12
pack. You wrap in a dog turd?
No, they gave us a 12 pack of wet food, and he goes nuts for the wet food.
Oh yeah.
So much so, the first time we gave it to him, he bit me when I tried to.
Oh no!
Like he was done with this food. He was just basically trying to lick it dry, and I was like, "Dude, it's gone. There's no more." And I grabbed the very edge of the bowl, and he bit me. So
did you
trying to lick the finish off the bowl, and you're like, seriously, it's gone, it's done.
Did you do the South Park crocodile hunter thing where you jam your thumb up his butt to show a dominance? Where you're like, "Oh yeah, motherfucker."
No, so
it might work that way.
So, as a person who is now working at a dog resort, as a pet resort, I've learned some things. And I will say I still do things my own way, but still use that training to even help my dog. So you're not really supposed to have like an alpha in the house. It's just supposed to be like, hey, you are just supposed to pay attention to me. But I'm like, hell no. No, there's going to be an alpha in the house and it's going to be me. So he's tried to bark at me and I just bark at him right back.
My
to the point
Bruce,
where he goes.
He found his voice, and we've had a couple of little conversations. So he'll lay back and just, I'm like, okay, what?
Clay's neighbor. It's 12:15 in the morning. You just hear Clay barking at his dog. This motherfucker. If he barks at his dog one more time.
Do you guys remember that old movie? I say old movie, but it's, our age. That Cuba Gooding Jr. movie, the Snow Dogs, and one of them was like, oh, if they just bite you, just bite them back. Yeah, that's me. Mm-hmm. That's me. I did it.
Dogs.
But see, it's not like I'm not biting them like because one thing that I've learned is, of course, dogs don't have fucking hands, so they play with their mouths. Mm-hmm. So mouthing is fine if they kind of just like put their mouth on your hand or do whatever.
They're teething. That's why they're chewing on everything.
Exactly. But when they bite, it's like, oh hell no. And I'm not one to like smack my dog around. So like he bit me like as I was holding him, and his shoulder was just like right next to my mouth. And so I just like did a quick thing, and he like looked at me and he was like, "You just fucking bit me."
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I was like,
yeah. I would just like to direct all PETA complaints to Fanboy Clay on Twitter at Fanboy Clay, and Super Civil Servants have no association with what goes on behind.
Clay. My look right now, he's snoozing right here. So if you hear any barking or any he has a tendency to growl in his sleep. So if you hear that,
I cannot have him in this room. He cannot be in this room. He this morning he chewed through my iPhone charger.
Is that the first time?
No. Because I had to buy 2 Ethernet cables in the same week. He bit through both of them in the same week. He's been chewing every corner of the wall in our living room. Like it's just insane.
But he's the only dog in your house, right?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing about it. That's the difference because I have Austin and she's 4. So when Bruce came in, he's going on like 4 months right now. Mm-hmm. So she pretty much handles him. So it's almost like he loves her so much. And then when he sits on her head, when she lays down, she looks at me like, she's like, "Can I bite him? Can I bite him?" I'm like, "No, you can't bite him. You can't bite him. No, you can show him who's boss, but you can't bite him." So, but yeah, he's basically her shadow. So that's helped a lot with his.
He has been a handful, but it's been fun. It honestly has. So I've been enjoying it.
Oh yeah, I get to beat that. I've gone through 7 remotes in the last month and a half.
I just
order them like 6 at a time. But all right, y'all want to crack into the show tonight? Clay, you got on before we got really into
what have we been doing? I thought we've been cracking into the show.
That's true. So far, this is part of it. That's right.
That's all I'm gonna say. It's been 20 minutes of straight fire, and if you're not enjoying it, then you're not our type of.
There you go.
What I miss?
Nothing actually. I mean, we were talking about the comics we read,
House of the Dragon stuff,
House of Dragon,
Game of Thrones.
Prequel
series coming in.
If you see those 4 right there that I'm pointing at right now, those are my Invincible comics that finally came in this past weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, they are back in stock. Just so y'all know, and I just realized this. He's actually in Texas, so it took a little less time for me to get them.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Well, that's perfect right there. I was trying to figure out what we were going to talk about first. Let's talk about Invincible. We've been talking about it a lot on the show, but I noticed a lot when we talk about how much we love it in the comics, but we haven't been talking about as much of the actual show. But this finale.
This is actually, I dispute that because I've never read the comics. All I've been talking about is the show every time.
That is true.
Point.
We've been talking about the comparisons of the comic.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
I will say, let's go ahead and kind of stick with the show on this because holy fuck.
Crap. Yeah. It was amazing. Well, give me some thoughts.
Good.
Well, Zara, did you watch the series?
I've seen the first 2 episodes.
Oh man, I don't
But
want to
no,
ruin
you're
this.
not gonna spoil it. You're
either.
not gonna
I
spoil
don't-
it. No, don't
yeah.
worry. You're not gonna spoil it for me. It's fine because I can kind of imagine how it's gonna go.
Oh,
Episode 2 was like what?
Oh no! See, even if we talk about it, there's still going to be stuff with Sarah watches. She's going to go, "Oh my god!" Because that's all you can do when you see some of the
Dude,
every
I
episode.
watched-
you go,
look,
that is
look.
true. That is
I
true.
started watching it and I finished it on the plane this morning because it was like an hour and a half flight. So here I am. I'm watching episode 2 with like all the in the all this, and I'm just sitting there like I felt like I was watching an honestly animated boys.
So
I was like,
okay,
"Holy
great comparison.
cow! What
Great
is
comparison.
going on here?"
Speaking of
like-
that, at the beginning of the show, when we'd only watched the first episode or whatever it was that they came out, I had originally said I would love to see Omni-Man take on Homelander, and now at the end of it, Homelander would get fucking slaughtered. Omni-Man would chew a Homelander up and spit him out. And like, holy shit.
So don't worry, fellas. I'll have this probably done because that'll be probably I'll watch this before I go to bed, that kind of thing. Because that's when I watch the boys. If it's not something for the kids.
If anybody wants to binge it, it's 8 episodes. In total, it's going to take 6 hours.
Yeah.
I am going to be binging it again, probably next Monday. That's when I have off. Holy shit. We see the ending of the first episode has a lot of foreshadowing for what this finale was. And holy shit, guys, it was amazing. The confrontation, the blood, the chaos, the destruction, the repercussions to what
casualties.
Yes. I told people on Twitter. I told people on Twitter. I said, if you had a problem with Man of Steel,
don't watch this.
You will not want to watch this show.
No.
That's what I loved about this the most about that is that they recognize it. And that's one of the things about it. Like they don't recognize that on a lot of live action stuff. And it's like, well, this is more real world. Like this show is absolutely amazing. I mean, this last episode is an hour of watching Mark get his ass kicked, which is awesome. And a 10-minute episode. So, I mean, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Loved it.
If you, you're not going to see, you're not going to see this right here, like this level. You're not going to find this in your big 2. You're not going to find this in, you're more likely to find something on a scaled down version in DC because they've done some, you watch those DC animated movies and you go, holy shit sometimes.
Yeah.
But never to the extent of this. And I'm sorry,
the closest thing,
you're never going to see this in Marvel.
The closest thing DC has ever done to this was the Apocalypse War, the very last movie of their 27 freaking movies that they've had experience making, and then they did the bloodiest movie,
Gods and Monsters. That one where it was it was Zod's kid was Clark.
That's
at the
true.
Beginning,
That's true.
Those 3 like they were. There was a lot of killing in that, but yeah, it does say like you're like this, man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just saying like this.
So go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say to your point of like most live action shows don't talk about the repercussions and the casualties and things like that. That was the whole point of this episode. Omni-Man makes a point and says like, these people are ants. These people are meaningless to your grand scale of how long you're going to be living, how long we are going to be living, right? And just the way he thinks about Earth. I will say one small spoiler, just because of the way that Simmons freaking said this dialogue. He's like, I loved your mom, but she's like a pet.
Savage.
And that was what set him off right there. That was the line. You saw it. That was the line that set him off. Yeah, I wrote that down because that was absolutely insane. The mindset is crazy.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, and it's always like the mindset of Star-Lord's father. When he, I know not to kind of take it off, but I mean, that sounds very similar.
Ego was the same way. Yeah, Ego.
Exactly, because it was like his mom was like a means to an end.
That's actually a pretty apt comparison there, Sarah. That's a good.
Yeah.
You know what? Just a small teaser for what we will be seeing in seasons 2 and 3, because this show did get renewed for 2 more seasons. The way that Ego was in Guardians of the Galaxy, think of Omni-Man being like that.
Mm-hmm.
Almost to the extent.
Oh, he's the extreme of that.
Oh, he is the absolute extreme to the point of finding lovers and things like that. So just a tease. Yeah. So that's something to look forward to.
Well, even in the first 2 episodes I've watched, when I found out Omni-Man where he was from and all this, and kind of like the reasoning behind them going to other planets and this kind of thing, I'm like, that's probably kind of setting up something to be a little bit more.
Definitely is.
We got the payoff for that.
Okay. So. See, that's what I'm saying. Just in the first 2 episodes, I'm like, maybe I can kind of connect the dots.
It's so good how
foreshadowing.
They do a lot of foreshadowing in the first 3 episodes.
Yes, they do.
And it all pays off in this last episode.
Everything.
It's so good.
Can I just say, Walter Goggins as fucking Cecil, like, holy shit, what a great voice for that. Like, just his cadence and shit that he does. I love Walter Goggins. Like, I loved him in Justified from his Boyd Crowder, you know what I mean? And then I liked him on Sons of Anarchy as the trans whatever, he ends up being.
Well, he was Ant-Man too. He was that film Ant-Man too.
That movie I don't really put in, no offense, people like it, but that's really low on my list. So that doesn't even really pop in my head that much because I felt like
he's just like one of those character actors that just
great. Yes, to your point, absolutely great character actor, and I loved his voice work in this.
Nathan, I know you're not on Twitter, so I'll go ahead and say it here. If he wasn't the voice of Cecil, and if, God rest his soul, if this actor was still alive, I would have loved him to be Cecil. James Garner.
James Garner. Ring my bell. Yeah. Ring my bell. I know the name.
Space Cowboys, The Notebook. He played the voice of the military guy in Atlantis.
Oh shit! What was the old show he was in?
I don't. Yeah, he's.
I'm just saying the movies that I know him from. But to be completely honest, he is a very famous actor.
It's like a very distinctive voice.
Yeah, he was in. Shoot, what is
even him as Mark Grayson too? Because I loved him from The Walking. He was Glenn on The Walking Dead and does Mark's voice. Like I loved him when I heard I liked him as Glenn on Walking Dead, and then I watched the whole series of Voltron, the Legendary Defender, the reboot modern version. And he plays Keith on that one. Does the voice and like
he was in Maverick. That's what it was.
Yes. Well, that was the original. He was the original Maverick.
Yeah, he was the original Maverick.
Like back in the.
No shit.
Like 1950s, like late 50s, early 60s. But when they did the reboots, he was a part of them as well.
That's pretty cool.
He also played the voice of the wizard Shazam in the animated movie Superman Shazam: Return of Black Adam.
Then I know the voice then.
Yeah.
Finally found a term the situation Nathan got.
No, I know the Maverick. Like I just can't picture it. Like I know it is, and I've seen it, but like I just nothing's ringing. Like I can't picture the face.
You've seen The Notebook.
Oh shit!
Don't lie. Don't lie. You've seen it.
No, my wife loves that movie, and I've still never watched it.
Yep.
I've never seen it all the way through.
I've never seen it. Nope. I've never seen any of it at all.
I refuse to watch it because I don't want to cry. I've seen it. And I refuse to watch it again because I don't want to cry again.
No, my wife won't let me watch it because she knows how I am, and she loves it so much it makes her emotional.
She'll be like,
she knows the whole experience. I'll sit there and I won't be into it, and the first thing that crosses my, I'll be like, oh yeah, blah, blah, and I'll harp on it, and she'll just be like, get out.
But I will say it created one of the best memes ever. It's like when your wife asks you, or when you ask your wife. Where does she want to eat? And you see Ryan Gosling yelling, "What do you want? What do you want?" Like that. It's glorious. Awesome.
Yeah. It's over my head. Lost on me.
You need to watch the movie.
Nah.
Back to the real good topic here. Not the notebook. No, I'm just kidding. Like I said, I was telling Greg off here. Man, I have the most minimal of gripes of this show, and like they're so minimal, like they're not even worth bringing up. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this show was tailor made for me. Like there's enough of like Mark's life in there. There's enough of the world at large. There's enough of like the mystery and stuff. And my God, they do not pull punches, and that is what I love. And And not like I'm not just like blood and gore guy. Like I like the consequences in there. Like I like Mark's mom. I can't remember Debbie telling Nolan. She's like they were our friends and you just murdered them. And like just like when she's going after him, but shit, like she can feel it and like you know what I mean. Like I just fucking I love this series. You can feel it all. There's crazy shit. There's gruesome. Like man, they go to the campus and the dude just wants to go there to meet some guy that he's just been like in love with, or hitting it off with online, and then all of a sudden he turns into a crazy robot fucking machine killer guy, and you're like, what is happening? Like that's a left turn you didn't see coming. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
just when you go like, whoa, like this show, like I
even the first episode,
but I
first
can't.
episode
I like
hits you in the
having
face. The first episode hits you in the face with those two dudes, and I'm like, well, how in the hell are they gonna stop these guys? And I'm like, oh, never mind.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and they come into play. They everything's woven so good. Like everything in the first episode.
Oh, they back?
It all comes back.
Yes.
Yes.
I will say this because again, the best part about this show is Kirkman is able to go back to a playground and sandbox that he shut the door on a while ago. Mm-hmm. And he's able to come back and maneuver things and do it again without really messing up what I'm reading right now. You know, I'm going back and I'm reading the old series, and he is genuinely saying, hey, I'm going to do what we did there, but I'm going to tweak some things. I'm going to still have fun with it. I'm going to make it to where nobody can tell you how this is going to end. Now, there's some same story beats, some massive story beats that are still the same, but the way they get there, completely different.
Wait, sorry. I was just going to say, I'm calling it now next season for whatever reason. Because, like we will see Omni-Man take on Battle Beast. Because the way he wrecked Mark in like episode 6 or whatever it was, and Omni-Man was just watching, like the way he wrecked him. And I know Mark's, in this last episode, he got his ass kicked by Omni. But you know what I mean? Like, Battle Beast, for some reason, somebody will hire him. Somehow their paths will cross, and that is going to be a bloody fucking battle that I want to see.
And the best part is, I can tell you, maybe, but I don't even fucking know. I've read all 144 issues, and I still can't tell you if it's going to happen or not.
Well, promise me this, fellas, next Friday. Now, because I'm going to get this finished this week. I promise
you're going to want
that.
to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we're just going to touch base on this because I want to give my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a show that like I'm very thrilled. You know what I mean? Like I will talk about this. This is like I said, this was just like this great surprise that I had no idea that I was gonna love. You know what I mean? Like I said, I really am kicking my ass because I've heard Brent and Chris talk about this Invincible comic forever, and and I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is. Blah, blah, blah.
Didn't really pique your interest till you could actually see it.
Yeah. Damn it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
what's up, buddy?
This series, seriously, in 8 episodes, it gives us an origin, or by the end of it, we have an origin, a rogues gallery, we have a super team, we have a direction that it's moving forward, and a cliffhanger. Like in 8 episodes, that gives you all that, because they have the montage at the end that shows everything they've done for the 8 episodes, all the characters they've introduced, and I was like, wow, I'm already that into
nicely
this.
fleshed out.
Oh, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Can we talk about a few moments of the
yes,
because I wanted to talk about some of the fight scenes, because most of this is a fight scene between Mark and
the whole thing.
Basically. Yeah, basically, except for a few little montages in there. But yeah, so my favorite part of it, because there's so many great fights, it's got to be the train part.
100%.
Like how fucking awesome was that? And I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, seriously, it is. But that was the point. That was what he was trying to teach him, because he had just killed the first guy, and he was like, oh, you think that's bad? And then the next part is the train scene, and that's where you start to get into this mass destruction, and I just could not believe when he was standing there. I was like, oh, he's gonna do that. Okay. Absolutely amazing. Just great scene for me.
And did you notice, like, during the fight, like when Mark would snap and he'd get his licks in, man, Omni-Man just was not. I mean, he was just fucking eating them and letting him. I mean, he'd cock his head a little bit, he'd get it and come back here, but he was eating them, and he would come back and just. Like,
I love that they kept one part of that fight scene from the comics. There's one moment where Mark gets like it's his enraged moment, you know, because I think it's either episode 2 or episode 3. So Sarah, you either already seen it or you're about to see it. There's a moment where Mark gets really angry at the invasion and he goes nuts. And even Rexplode is like, man, what's your fucking problem? Like,
exactly.
don't let me get you angry anytime soon, you know, things like that. And so when he gets angry, the audience is like, yes, this is going to be his moment. He's going to fuck Omni-Man up. And he goes in for the punch. And like you said, he cocks his head just a little bit. And he looks at him and he says, please. And then bam! Like, that is in the comic and it plays so well here. His eyes are like bloodshot and he just looks menacing.
In Chicago.
Holy crap.
Or New York. What was it? Chicago or
It was
New York?
Chicago.
He hits him. Yeah, he hits him fucking like 40 miles away and sends him through a skyscraper and sends him down 4 miles of pavement and just wrecking people along the way. Holy shit.
Well, what I find that's so interesting about it is the fact that Mark is like half. He's not even full-blooded. So, you know, I'm just kind of curious to see how that plays out.
Well, they do say it in here. And again, this is something that everybody will find out eventually, so it's not too crazy.
Sure.
But he tells Mark, like, you're like the physiological like placements of humans and Vultramites are so similar. He is basically full blood.
Right.
Like, that's what he tells him.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
No. Say what you say.
I was just gonna say, like, so you have those moments that you're like, and because this whole show is about Mark and his progression and him learning things and him, you know, struggling with being a hero and doing all this, but the most part, it's about him being the hero. And so when you finally, because you guys see it coming, like from episode 1, you're like, yeah, Omni-Man he's shady. Like, no, that is not a good guy. Like, it can't be a good guy. You know this is coming. And so you're like, Mark's gonna get him. Because that's how superhero shows are. The good guy always wins. But I'm gonna ask, and it's a rhetorical question because of course we want Sarah to see, but can you say that he won or not?
That's what I was going to bring up. Yes. And I love the way that he did it. I was going to bring that up, not to jump straight to the end, when he's like, what will you have? Or what did you have? Because I was thinking the whole time, like, what's he going to say to him? I would have had you, Dad. Holy fuck. Every father everywhere. If that didn't just shoot you right through the goddamn heart. You know what I'm saying? Well,
that was one of the main themes for the first episode, because, you know, especially with the other guy, you know, with the security guard talking about, you know, the kid that he basically kind of adopted. And then when it went back to Nolan telling Mark, you know, about who he was, and, you know, and then it kind of shot back forward and Mark's like, well, I just want to be like you. I just want to be you. That's all I've ever wanted to do is be you.
That dialogue, that whole conversation comes back for the 8th episode, and it tears your heart so much.
Even the security guard you're talking about with his son, even that comes back into play later on in an episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's crazy. Everything is
like I said, that was just the moment though. Like when he heard that, you know, and like I said, I'm not trying to just harp on the end, but when he said that, because I mean, you think he's just going to go because he doesn't care about anything. You know, he's just like, you know, what would you have? You know, when Omni-Man's freaking out and he said, I would have had you, you know, I would have had my dad, or, you know, I would have had you, Dad. Like, dude, like, you know what I mean? Like, whew. And it, like, the weird Martian at the epilogue or whatever he tells us, like, a Vultremite leaving a planet or whatever, that's unheard of. That doesn't fucking happen. So, like, that's why I would say he did win. Because whether he's going to regroup, get his head together, bring reinforcements, whatever he's going to do, he stopped his mission, he stopped what he was doing, and he left, and that's unheard of.
Yeah. Well, that was Alan the Alien.
Yeah, Alan the Alien.
And that's Seth Rogen.
Yeah, I knew the voice.
Myself.
Yeah, I knew the voice of it. I just forgot his name.
But this whole show, you learn very quickly that this show is definitely, like, at its core about family. Like, if it was any more about family, we would see Vin Diesel here.
Right.
But, you know,
right. Hey, I am Groot. No.
But the when you were talking about how things go, how we were all talking about how you see these callbacks from earlier episodes and how the story is all coming to an end in a very perfect little present in episode 8. That's the beautiful thing about Kirkman's writing is he loves to leave little nuggets in certain episodes or in certain issues of the comic. And then he'll leave it as like a joke, or he'll leave it as just something very subtle. And then later on, it just pops up out of nowhere, and you're like, "Oh shit, I forgot about that."
Yeah,
The
really cool thing about this, I was thinking about it earlier. With episodes 7 and 8, you can watch it like a movie, where episode 7 is like act 1 and 2, and episode 8 is a badass third act.
Yeah, I would definitely call the series as a whole, it is a very episodic up until the last 2 episodes. You could definitely have it as a part 1 and part 2 finale.
Yep.
Well, they just like from the comparison of how they started to how they finished it, because I'm going to tell you, like you saw at the end of episode 1, you're going, your mouth's just on the ground going, what the fuck did I just see? Like their Superman just killed their Justice League with no rhyme or reason, no warning, with such ferocity and viciousness. And like they almost took him out, you know what I mean? And that's interesting too. Was from that first episode, and like we see Marcus having no effect on him in episode 8. Like and the giant, they're basically their Doomsday / Starro thing in the episode before that, and Immortal. Like but in the beginning, like Nolan was taken down, like he was beaten. Now whether he would have been down for the count, I doubt it. But you know what I mean? Like he was in the hospital for however long, So if all the world's heroes could have teamed up on just him, you know what I mean? But he just it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
So speaking of, I just have a question for you guys. This is still going to be a live action movie. I don't know if any of they're still working on it. Seth Rogen says he has the project. He had this project as animation. He also has the project in live action. Who would you guys want as Omni-Man? Because I'm about to share my screen real quick, and I just want.
I have to think
I hadn't put any thought. I had not put any thought
as Omni-Man. Yeah, give me a second.
But I would have never thought Anthony Starr for Homelander, because I didn't know. But I fucking love that. So maybe it's somebody off the beat. I don't know. I honestly think this would take some real thought. Can I toss one out there?
Sure. Just after seeing this. You could actually put J.K. Simmons as Omni-Man. Dude's ripped. You got the great.
I was going to say he had the picture right before Justice League started filming, and he
was all swole the gym.
Yeah. he looked. I think Nathan would be the only one who would get this reference. He looked like freaking badass Master Roshi.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But
when he swells up.
Take a look at this.
Okay. I don't know who that is, but I could see that.
That's Superman.
That's Cavill.
Oh, it's Henry Cavill. Okay, I didn't even recognize that.
And you know who else, after seeing that? You know who else?
Boss Logic said...
I could put Timothy Olympian in that or whatever, because he looked kind of like Cavill in that. You know, the guy that played Raylan on Justified, and he's in the Mandalorian and shit. Yeah. Say
Boss Logic said, he said, "Hey, I found a use for the mustache."
Awesome.
And then we got Beast Boy over here as
all right.
I could see that. Yeah.
I could see
it's interesting. It's interesting.
I like it. So is this all just a rumor right now? I mean, or
no. It's something that is happening. Seth Rogen himself has said it is still.
What if Seth Rogen shows up and he's Omni-Man?
He got some work to do.
If
Seth Rogen take Joey Pratt and turn him into fucking Star-Lord, I think Seth Rogen into shape.
If Seth Rogen had to pick any role in the Invincible movie,
he would pick the one on the table from the buffet.
No, he would be Cecile's right hand.
He would be what?
Cecile's right hand. The dude with the sunglasses.
Yeah.
That would be Seth Rogen.
Bobby Hill. Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
Sarah's like, holy crap, it is.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that either. That's perfect. Yeah.
God damn it, boy, I ain't even have my breakfast that boy. Right. See, look, Hank was worried the whole time. He's over there cooking with propane, and Bobby grew up in the fucking FBI.
In English, Bobby, you speak English.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
Can I tell you that I hope in season 2 or 3 we get a flashback mission or something to the Guardians of the Globe, the original ones, because I really want to see more. But and I know it's like, oh, whatever. It's just the Justice League, or it's just the Justice League Avengers matchup. I don't care. I still want to see a little bit more though, because I want to know more about those characters. I liked
that Fish dude. I was like, you just
War
like
Woman and shit, like and even Fish Boy. That was their.
He just like hung out down there. And he was like,
well, you know what?
Like
The fish people, they are a part of the comic, but the part that was in the comic was before what we saw at the last episode here in season 1. But like I said, the events are being shuffled in a way that we are able to see things in a different light. So we could see, like, even if it wasn't in the comic, we may be able to see a flashback of the original Guardians of the Globe.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I just want something like show me.
Yeah, that was an interesting group.
Well, they said that, goddamn, what was it? Mark or one of them said, or his wife said that Nolan had almost died if it wasn't for the Guardians a couple of times. Show me that. Show me him on the brink, and these guys saving him. Like, what beat him? Like, I want to see something that can take Omni-Man to the brink. And obviously, in the first episode, we saw it. The League, or the Guardians of the Globe, whatever. Sorry, their Justice League, all working together. They took him down. I mean, he won obviously, but you saw him. He collapsed at the end. He was done. Like, if they could have held out another 10 minutes or had one more, heavy hitter like War Woman or Immortal, like, he would have been done.
Yeah.
So like, I just show me a mission where he was almost done and these guys came in and helped, or was he faking it, or show me, show me the I just want to see more of these strong badass characters.
Well, I'm willing to bet that we will, just because like there's a flashback in the last episode that was never in the comics at all. The flashback where we actually see Omni-Man or Nolan actually start to have human feelings.
The baseball game.
That almost wrecked me. Like, you see him be the cold alien, but by the end of that the flashback, you see that like there's something there. He is a dad, and that is why he flies off. So, oh man, dude, I am ready for season 2. A lot of people are like, man, I hope, like, why couldn't they just renew it all the way up to season 5? I understand that, Amazon wants to, be reserved in what they can push on their content, but to have the next 2 seasons already up is just awesome.
You got to think, though, this does have an opportunity to drum up excitement. You get these other 2 out, and then you get to announce, hey, we're going to do season 4 and 5, and they get more people going, yes, because now they can do this and this, and because we've read the comics, just kind of like they're doing with the boys. They're taking the boys in. I know that's different because it's live action, but they want to keep that. Like right now, they have the boys and Invincible, and they've had that Jack Ryan. They've had a couple small things, but the boys by far is their biggest thing. Yeah, Lord of the Rings series is going to either make or break them. Like that's going to draw people in massively. Or
that first season is $1 million or $1 billion. Sorry, that first season is $1 billion budget show. The first one ever.
But like I said, so I don't think it's bad or people. I get why they're saying, but I think it's to keep their name in the conversation, to keep the marketing going, the press going. Because you got to think, they said 2 more seasons. Well, we already know the boys is coming out, and they're going to do a Butcher. Like, really, by the time that gets over with, you can go, hey, we got Invincible coming out with this, and then, and I think it's just strategic.
Yeah, for sure.
Clay, I have a question for you, and you can just give me a yes or no. In this episode, there was one thing I saw that I found pretty interesting, where Cecil's talking to Mark about the tap water, and it's the light that normal humans can't see, and that they've been putting it in tap water, and people don't know about it. But that's how they hide these things, is with this frequency or light that people can't see because of the tap water. Well, Nolan's been there for 17 years drinking that tap water. Does this stuff ever come back into play? Just a yes or no is all.
I will say the room comes back into play.
Okay.
That's all I'll say, though.
All right, fair enough.
They showed it to you for a reason. I was wondering if they were ever gonna do it.
Yeah.
Just because it's a really weird concept.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this idea that like you go into what looks like the Matrix when Morpheus and Neo were walking, and all of a sudden, I need guns, and like you just see the wave of guns. You know, it looks exactly like that giant white room, and then all of a sudden it flickers, and he sees an entire lab, and then it comes off again.
I was half expecting to see his fucking flashy trench coat, you know, like the leather kind. I know you're right.
Well, what's the room they're in Doom Patrol?
They're in the white space.
They're in the
white space between the panels.
Like
it's kind of like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why they show it.
I was wondering about that because they only showed it for maybe 45 seconds in a real quick scene, then never talked about it again the rest of it. And I was like, what?
I will say I'm rereading the 144 issues. Right now I'm on issue 88. Right. That room is not like a go-to place, but it is a place that I have seen multiple times after the first time, which was the introduction. The introduction is basically just the same. It's Cecile going in there with Mark and saying, hey, look, I just want to have this conversation. Mark freaks out because he doesn't see anything, just like he just sees white. He's like, hey, what is this place? Again, Cecile turns off the lights. He's able to, show him this, and then he turns them back on. And Mark's like, okay, that was weird. Don't know why you showed me that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Again, Kirkman does these things for a reason, and it's for future events that are going to happen. Okay. I will say, Cecile having that can be a very good tactical advantage for him. So just think about that. Mm-hmm. So.
And there was also the one thing Cecile had at the very end, too, that we saw was effective against Omni-Man, was those robots.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sarah should be getting to that in the next 2 episodes.
Yeah, we're talking about this next week. We're going to at least touch base on this next week.
Last episode, it was offhanded. They're like, yeah, these soldiers serving their country one last time. And when you look at all of them, you're like, this motherfucker dug up a bunch of soldiers and outfitted them with this tech to become, monsters. Like, holy shit. And they got United States government, and then the flag stamped on their like stomachs and shit. I'm like, wow, like, yep, yeah, that's exactly.
They're cyborg parademons. Cyborg parademons, what they are,
basically.
But yeah, I love it, and I will be rewatching it again, and I know the comics are in thing. I'm going to be reading those, and like I'm so glad that we're going to get more of this. And this was, like I said, just such an unexpected, just treasure and just treat. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? I was not expecting it, and I ended up loving it.
Yeah. Well, I was in the C3 draft show last night, and as soon as I got off, they started talking about this show, and I hopped back on for a second. I was like, hey, I started talking about Sarah was on there. This show's blown me away. It's I don't want to say it is my absolute favorite animated thing I've ever seen, but it's up there. I'd have to really sit down and look at it. It's definitely up there, and I can't wait for the next series. And live action is going to be amazing.
So Nathan already disagrees with me, but I'm just going to have to ask you, Greg, because I know you enjoyed Man of Tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
it wasn't the best ever, but it was, it wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible.
What about the animation?
I liked the animation. I like all different kinds of animation. So I could deal with the animation of Man of Tomorrow.
One thing that I said this during an episode of Superhero Discussions, me and Travis actually talked about the new JSA World War II movie that just recently came out. And I explained to everybody who was listening that Invincible and that movie actually share the exact same animation style, but not the same art style. So there's a lot of people that are kind of griping about the animation style of the new Justice League or DC animated universe or whatever. But it's the same as Invincible. So if you're raving about Invincible and you're like, oh man, this animation is so great, but you're talking crap about Justice League or about the DC animated universe, you're kind of being a hypocrite.
Here's where we're going to come into different because when you watch Invincible, you're right. It is the same technical animation style, but the
like
artwork,
almost like stop motion comics.
Okay, but the artwork,
So.
like the detail and the amount of money and renderings they put into Invincible, you can see it because it looks fluid. It goes, it's fluid. It never stops. You don't look like stop motion. Man of Tomorrow, like the background animation, all gorgeous. It looked flowing and fluid. And then it looked like a cardboard, like I cut out a fucking cardboard cutout of Superman and went like this shit on the screen, like you used to see at the end of Buffy with Josh Quigg, the little stick figure guy. And then that's what Archer looks like too. So yes, they're the same, but DC's not putting nearly as much time and effort into.
Oh no! You can't tell me. You can't
Beast
tell
Wars
me.
and Clone Wars are the same fucking animation, but look at their styles; they're vastly different. One's got more time and money put it, and yeah, the technologies were different, but we're calling it. They're still the same animation. Still
Amazon has put more than $3 million into Invincible.
Exactly,
100%.
Exactly.
The budget on those DC animated movies is 300 or 3 million. Stop. Like that is it. Mm-hmm. And so I completely agree with you on that one.
Yeah. So like while they're the same styles, there's one gets more time and care put into it, and the other one, and I get it, and I totally get it. DC's trying to make as much return profit as they can, and they used to make a lot on the Blu-rays. I don't know if they're making as much on just the digital sales, but I know a lot of that shit came from the Blu-ray and DVD sales, of those for kids and for people like us. So I get why they're, maybe it's cheaper to do now, and your comparison or your analogy with Thundercats Roar and the Teen Titans Go and all that stupid animation. You're right. They saw one person had it, and the Aquaman, that new Aquaman show for HBO Max, is gonna be the same. Yuck. I hate all of it. Yuck. It's terrible. I can't even. Okay, like here's a little peek in the thing. This is how vain I am, I guess, or ignorant or whatever. But like, you could have a fucking killer story in a comic book, and I open it up and it's art like that. I'm immediately throwing that shit away. I will never.
No, what?
Really?
Yeah, really? like Wonder Woman in the New 52 era or whatever it was. Like there was somebody that did it in the most god awful Wonder Woman pictures and cover. Like it just looks so abstract and like it was weird shit. Oh God, if I saw, I could see it in my mind's eye right now. It might have been the greatest story ever, but I will never give that a chance because the art looks so just. There
is a lot of people. There's a lot of people like that, Nathan. Don't worry, you're not the only one. Art can kill a story. It really, really can. Yeah. So I totally agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I guess it is just all a matter of opinion because there's certain stuff I love. Like you look at Batman and Turtles, the Batman Turtles team up from IDW. Like that artwork is totally different than what you'd see in a lot of different comics, and I love the way that looks. Mm-hmm. I didn't mind the Man of Tomorrow stuff. I enjoy stop motion comics, like the Iron Man Extremis stop motion comic is absolutely amazing.
Oh, yes, I
like the artwork of Man
and the X-Men ones. Oh, I hated those.
Really? I love them, man. I love all different.
They used to be on Netflix. I remember. I was like, oh man, there's a new X-Men show on Netflix, and I turned it on and I saw that it was in a stop motion. I was like, well, that's disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you didn't like it? Oh, I love it.
Well, it wasn't what I was expecting.
Okay.
Those got really popular on YouTube before Netflix was like, hey, we'll purchase that and put it on for like a couple months, see what views that it got. So if I am advertised to say like, hey, watch this stop motion comic, I'll watch it.
Right.
But if it's something that is advertised as like, hey, this is a movie, watch this movie, and I see it's a stop motion comic, I'm like, no.
I get that.
You know,
it's like you want to be prepared going in. Mm-hmm. It's like, don't blindside me.
Exactly.
Like, you brought up a good point. The hard. I forgot to mention that you and Travis, when you were talking on SD, that you said that it's the hard black outlines and traced around with them that does it. And you're right, because as I told you, I've been watching Attack on Titan, like actually watching it for the first time, and I'm on season 2, episode 9.
They do the exact same thing.
They do the same thing, but there's so much more extra detail and care put it. You can't tell until you actually stop to look at it. And there's a couple scenes where you'll see, whatever, like that it jumps out, but for the most part, that shit is so fluid. And my God, like little side note here, holy shit, that show too, motherfucking hands up. I mean, wow. Like the stories are so good.
If anybody wants to get into anime,
you feel like shit, but still have a little bit of hope left in you. Like you want to just feel like, oh God, I just watched everybody get eaten and smashed and died, and like, but there's still like this little ray of hope. I'm telling you guys, the show's so off the wall and fucking bonkers, but it makes so much sense, and the storytelling is done so good. Like I'm in. I'm fucking in. Like it is excellent, and the animation is, I mean, like they put time and detail into it.
I have not had the chance to look at. I don't even know if it's out yet. I think it is, but there was a Japanese live action version of Attack on Titan.
There is. There's a movie. I have not watched it because
I have not seen it yet.
Something I'm gonna have to get into.
It's
anime. Anime is a great avenue for animation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes, my child is all about the anime now.
Oh yeah.
So Sarah, I'm just gonna say this: another animation style that does really good with the hard outlines. Demon Slayer. I know that your son went to go see the movie recently.
Is that a series?
It is a series. The first season is on Netflix.
He's actually getting. I think I told you he's actually getting like the first. I think 5 volumes of like the manga.
Yeah.
Did the movie just come out for that?
It just
came out. What week after? No.
It came out in
last
America.
Saturday. Yeah.
It came out in America just recently. It's one of those the anime movies. Whenever they come to theaters, it's only for like 2 weekends.
Yeah. Because my daughter was asking me to take her to go see that this weekend. She's been binge watching the first season on
that movie.
That's what Gage has been doing.
No joke. This movie, when it debuted in Japan, of course, during COVID and everything else, this actually saved the economy in Japan. It boosted up their dollars and everything. The last volume, I think it's like volume 23 or 21, one of the two. And that movie coming out at the same time saved the economy for Japan. So it is that good. The first season is on Netflix, and the movie is actually right after the first season. So if you watch season 2, you can still technically go season 1, season 2, but the movie just gives you a little bit more filler that is worth it.
Okay. Yeah, I might check that out. Like I said, my daughter's really into it. She's really enjoying it. I know she's been asking me to take her to go see it this weekend.
Well, Brian didn't know anything about it. He took Gage, and Brian actually enjoyed it. So I mean, and he didn't know anything about it. So it was pretty good.
Might have to be something I get check into. Yeah, because I'm extending past my just Dragon Ball and Gundam of my anime. I was kind of slowly tingling my fingers out there and other.
Well,
it has a really cool like mythos and everything, but like the fight scenes, the animation is probably like close to one of the best in the last like 5 years.
Well, my house has been nothing but Naruto and My Hero Academia. I'm like, I don't even know what this stuff is.
Yeah, that's the same way mine has been too for about the last year.
I will say this
as child abuse and
as a manga nerd and anime nerd, I will say My Hero Academia is quite possibly the best anime like since Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, my daughter loves it.
She loves it.
I bought her.
That's the one thing they can sit down and watch together, and there's
Nathan.
No
and
fighting.
I know how ridiculous that sounds, but it's 100% true.
I might have to. Let me get through my.
It's also a little more adult, isn't it? Like I've watched some stuff with like Himiko Toga. Isn't she kind of?
No, Greg. They just draw girl boobs like real big and like up their skirts and stuff.
No, so there's 2 controversial things in this show, in manga. These are all these are all like these are all teenagers, right? They're all teenagers. They go to high school or whatever. One of the like main characters in class 1A, her name is Momo. She wears a costume that only covers her breasts, and there's like this open slit like from her neck all the way to her belly button. But the reason why that is because her quirk, her power, is she literally creates things out of her body. Like she creates, it's almost creating something out of nothing, but not really. So she can literally think of something, and it either comes out of her back or out of her chest. Like literally.
You don't be ripping clothes, so you want to have that easy access.
Exactly. So it is technically like used in her costume is used in a proper way because of her quirk. So
but
there's
it's inappropriately dressed though.
So it is inappropriate. Another inappropriate thing is Toga is a villain, and her quirk is that she has this syringe, and when she draws blood from anybody, she can basically clone herself as that individual. But in order to do so, whenever she loses the power, because like so much blood gives her access to be that person for so many hours or days or whatever, depending on how much blood, when that runs out, she basically is naked. She not basically, she is, but she is 17.
Oh, so you mean the culture that has readily available vending machines with girls' used panties in them on fucking street corners is sexualizing fucking their animators.
It's the truth.
Like,
it's the truth. And that is why I said
I don't want to be.
That is why I said
like
inappropriate, because this is Japan.
Like it, fuck off. That's what they do over there. It's their culture. That's
well, there's another one that
right or wrong. That's them. Because I'm telling you what, I'm not gonna walk by and I'm gonna. Oh God, what sick fuck goes by? Goes, yep. You know, I'm gonna spend this $5.
Nobody Google high school DxD, by the way.
Yeah,
just saying that now.
So I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? All these people that you guys got to really start, you know, like look at your audience and shit, guys. Like they do some, like, you know, like the porn industry in Japan is largely equivalent with like animated hentai and stuff, where they're just like drawing animated chicks getting railed and like, you know what I mean? Like this is their culture. This is what they do. They like their drawings to look young and fair. Like they want. Man, I'm just telling you, really look into shit like Japan and China. Like you get into their nitty gritty, and they're not. Oh man, there's some creepy.
Well, even
shit that is just common.
You should know this more than anything, Nathan. The first volumes of Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball, had a lot of nudity.
Like showing her panties to Goku to like get into Dragon Ball, and she ends up like with her boobs out one time. It's like, oh yeah, I guess, yeah, guys, like, that's just their culture. So if you don't like,
and that is like one of the top selling, most popular animes and mangas ever. Like it was way back in the 70s, you know. So it's just.
And I thought I was just wigging out over all like the demons and all that shit. I'm like,
no,
God. Thanks, guys.
If your children ever start to watch something called High School DxD, ground them immediately.
Whoa, okay. I'm gonna
that better not be have
write this
access
down.
to
What'd you say that was? So just for research purposes. Just kidding.
I don't know. The boy's watching something else too. He was telling me about it and saying how these kids were raised and eaten by something and all. He'll be 11, but he finds the onlyest shit, and I'm like, okay, whatever. God.
That's awesome.
The conversations we have, I'm like, geez.
That's awesome.
Oh, so mine's 14. Wait, they get it's crazier.
Or to be on the most tame side, but still kind of like, whoa, Food Wars.
There's a hard set.
Watch it. Yeah. No. Watch the first episode. Watch Netflix. Watch the first episode, but watch Food Wars. FOOD Wars. Watch the first episode without anybody around, just in case. Just gonna leave that there.
That makes me wonder.
Boobs out on Food Wars, because where have I been? This would be my greatest cooking show ever.
Is that on the Netflix?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Does it say TVMA on there?
Anything's possible.
You know what? I don't know.
I'm about to find out though. Hold on a second.
Hold on. Well, because I will say, I am reading the manga right now, and
the manga.
Yeah, it's a manga.
Yep.
I have the first 3 volumes.
Okay.
So this is Food Wars. So I'm looking at it right now on Netflix. It is
TVMA.
Rated TVMA.
I'm gonna have myself a glass of Chardonnay, turn the lights down low, watch
the real Food Wars. That's right.
So, just saying, if you want to watch it, maybe watch it alone, people.
Oh Lord! This better not be something my youngin finds. God almighty.
Sarah, just make him start doing his own sock laundry. All right, he's getting to be a teenager to start doing his own sock laundry.
Hush! I can't with that right now. I cannot.
Get ready.
No.
Get ready.
No, he's already starting to smell like a boy. Oh God, I can't. Oh shit.
Oh man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Now I'm gonna have nightmares. Next.
I'll say, is there anything else anybody wants to say about Invincible?
I loved it. We took some hard. That was a winding road, and I'm glad we went down it.
We went down an anime path. Yeah. It's a big squirrel there.
And we'll meet up on this, like I said, next week. We'll meet
next
back
week
up on
we
this,
will talk about it. But I just want to say, while the hype is still high, but the sales may have just gone down a little bit, just because stocking of the comic has been renewed in a lot of places.
I want my copy cheap.
Go get them now.
Yes.
You better get on it, buddy.
All right, go check it out. All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the last subject then. Y'all go check out Invincible. I know I'm gonna watch it again. Got to watch Mortal Kombat today. Good.
I was gonna say before. Damn, I should have said it before. Anyway, let's talk before we actually review the new movie. Let's talk about some of the animated movies that you were talking about. Some of the video game movies that have come out before, or whatever.
That's a good idea.
Let's chat about those first before we get into the
I need to pull up a list of how many video game movies there has been in a while. So y'all keep talking. I'll
Street Fighter #1.
Yeah. Yes, #1. Really? Number one.
But I'm just saying, when I think comic book movie, that's the #1 thing that I think of, and then it's Mortal Kombat.
Wasn't Gomez Adams in there? Is like fucking
yes.
Or whatever?
Yes.
What's the
you talking about the character or the actor?
Yeah, no, the guy, the both of them, the character and the actor.
Bison is the character.
Bison.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot Double Dragon was actually.
I was gonna say I threw a bunch of them in there that were just movies that I don't remember a ton of, but I knew I loved when I was younger. Double Dragon was on my number 5 for my top 5.
When did Double Dragon come out? What was it? 90.
Double Dragon was 94. I was 2 years old.
I rented that son of a bitch religiously at the I'd go with my dad. Like my dad, when I went to my dad's house, we always went to the movie store. That was my weekend thing.
Sorry, Sarah.
We watched family movies. Double Dragon came to the rotation more times than I care to really fucking admit, because I was like, yes. And the Mario Brother movies. I just love that old shit. But Double Dragon, it was so cheesy and corny, but I ate it.
It was such a good movie.
Dude, I got Street Fighter. I got a DVD for Street Fighter, and I'll throw that in every
Fighter, I watched the shit out of that. I used to watch the first two Mortal Kombat. There was one summer I would watch Batman Returns, Mortal Kombat. Actually, all 4 of the Batmans, both Mortal Kombats, and there was another 2 that I threw in there religiously. And they weren't. Oh, and all the 3 of the Turtles movies. There was one summer where that was my viewing.
Your whole summer.
Watching my little sister babysitting and stuff, and getting stuff done around the house. Those were my movies I watched.
Did any of y'all watch any of the Final Fantasy movies?
No.
I didn't get into that.
So Final Fantasy is a very weird one. The very first Final Fantasy movie had nothing to do with what the video games are.
Okay.
The movie was called Final Fantasy. What was it called? Let me see.
The second one was Spirits Within. I can't remember what the first one was called. Or no, the third one was Spirits Within.
The Spirits Within is the very first one.
The very first one?
Is the very first
2001?
Yeah. It was like a CGI movie. It actually had nothing to do with what we know as Final Fantasy, the video games. So a lot of people were turned off about it. The concept was really interesting. It was very much in the realm of the very popular Titan AE, the animated movie. Does anybody remember that? The one with Matt Damon?
I thought that was John Travolta, wasn't it? I know which one did he do? Battlefield Earth?
Yes.
Yeah, Battlefield Earth was John Travolta.
Forrest Whitaker was in that one too, wasn't he?
Yeah. The other Final Fantasy movie was the Advent Children. That was a CGI movie as well. That one was really good though, because that one was actually based off of and continued the story of Final Fantasy VII. But okay. I was looking at some of the live actions, the ones that we mostly know. Tomb Raiders. So there's the Tomb Raiders. There's of course Resident Evil. Does anybody remember because I literally have only seen it once. It was only in theaters that I saw it. Does anybody remember the Silent Hill movie?
I remember of it, but I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I think Brian watched it because I refused to.
Like I remember it exists, but I don't.
Is that the one that had like the siren?
Yes. That's the
he
one
watched that like in another room. I
So
the
Silent Hill movie was a very weird concept. It's a weird concept as a game too. It's like alternate dimensions or whatever, and like you can basically say that like technically the other dimension is hell. Maybe it's very up in the air, but it's a very, very cool game and weird concept for a movie. Silent Hill 2 was supposed to come out. Oh, well, actually, it did.
It was straight to DVD.
It was straight to DVD. I see that right now.
Does Angry Birds count?
Yes.
It's a game movie.
Jesus.
Technically it does. But while we're talking about this, while I got it in my head, well, we know everybody's scrambled to get their own, like all these streaming services are scrambled to get their own like fantasy universe off the ground. Why is some dummy never went and got the Elder Scrolls Skyrim world? Because if you've ever played that game, that is so ripe and just fucking Jesus, you could do so much with that.
If anybody were to grab Elder Scrolls, it would be their Witcher. That's exactly what it would be.
I played Skyrim. I played the game and I got so into it. Like I was getting guidebooks. Like I was looking. That was the first time I'd ever like I was like, I gotta know more about the different creatures and the towns and places I can go and kill things and get stuff. Like it was fucking. Even my wife will sit down right now. I can put that game on and she'll be like, oh, I'm on a quest. And like, oh, we ain't played that shit in years. Like she's not into that stuff. You know what I mean? Like playing those kind of games, and she was into it. But anyway, we can go back to movies that do exist. I just want to say,
they had a Tekken movie.
Hey,
they did have a Tekken movie. Tekken.
I'm like looking at this list here. I'm like,
they did.
Now I remember Double Dragon because God.
So Tekken was. Let me see if this is the right one. Well, nope, not
2010.
Yeah, Tekken. I believe. Let's see here. What's 2010 or 2011?
This list it was 2010.
Is it called Blood Vengeance or is it just called?
No,
Tekken?
it's just Tekken.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever seen. I've definitely never seen. I've definitely never seen that. Yeah.
I just do remember the game. So I mean, it's like
game was awesome.
Beat a guy that you could fight with. That like
this one was only released in Japan. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah,
that doesn't count.
Hey, I'll throw out there the new Sonic movie. I don't know if y'all seen that.
It's possibly the top. It is one of the top tier video game movies, I would say.
Yeah. It's
just
Jim
because
Carrey in a perfect role for Jim Carrey.
Yes,
you know.
And when it comes to like video game accuracy compared to what it could have been,
yes,
this is top tier. The only movie I would say is on the same like bar as Sonic right now, just because when it came out, I was kind of indifferent about it. But the more and more I thought about it, yeah, they changed the story up, but it was still a really good adaptation. Prince of Persia.
Okay.
I liked that movie.
It actually was a Disney movie. It came out with oh my gosh, what's his name? Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah. Really, really good. I really loved it. The choreography for like the parkour and all of that, because parkour was like really big back in the day. Really, really good. Does anybody remember Doom?
Oh yeah.
I said that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Doom with freaking Billy Butcher.
Wasn't
freaking from The Boys, The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock was in it.
Carl Urban.
God. Yeah, Carl Urban.
Yeah, and then The Rock, because that was like one of the
fact that like that movie was like, okay, it was Doom in concept, but how they literally for like the last 15 minutes was like, hey, we're gonna put you in first person and shoot all of the aliens. Like it was eye rolling, but I was like, man, this is so great.
Did any of y'all
why haven't they made a Duke Nukem game? Like
I know. Thank you. They need to make a Duke Nukem game for sure.
Jesus, that would be hilarious.
Yeah. Did any of y'all ever see Warcraft? I never saw
Warcraft. Oh, that was the World of Warcraft movie. No, see,
I remember when it came
there's
out.
a lot of controversy
that
over that movie. I remember that.
My father-in-law loves it. He's seen.
I never saw it.
Really?
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
He's
yet,
never played the game, but he saw the movie and he loved it because he's into like Lord of the Rings games. Like he just loves that old timey fantasy kind of world and shit. He watched it 3 or 4 times. just because it would be on HBO or whatever it came on TV. But yeah, he enjoyed it, but I've never seen it.
That's cool. Huh.
So there was several of these, but I have only seen one. Has anybody seen the Hitman movies?
No. I know of them, but I didn't.
Oliphant or Oliphant, how do you say his name?
Was it Oliphant?
I don't think it was.
It was. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Timothy Oliphant.
Timothy Oliphant was Agent 47. You know, he played the first Hitman, and then they had
the second one,
which was Hitman Agent 47.
Hitman
That's
2.
the newer one.
Hitman 2 Electric Boogaloo, where they have a dance off to save the rec center.
Basically.
We're not talking about Zoolander, no.
But I will say the one franchise that was technically more successful than any of these that we haven't talked about yet,
Transformers.
Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was brought up. Resident Evil was probably the
we mentioned it.
How many exactly?
There's like 7
movies.
Yeah, but the first two, like the first one was good. The second one wasn't a bad sequel, and I can't remember all the rest of them. But I know, I don't think that was too bad.
But I will say none of them really followed the video game. They were more of just like a zombie movies made into a Resident Evil franchise.
Yeah.
But apparently there's a Resident Evil movie coming out this year.
Oh, really?
Is Yoga going to be in it?
What's her name?
Mila Jovovich?
No. This is a full reboot. This is a full reboot.
Isn't that from The Fifth Element?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
High five.
This is a full reboot that is actually based off the video games. They're actually going to follow the story. We'll see more of the characters that are basically from the video game, Leon and all of them. So I'm excited about it. Now it looks like it's a little bit more of a lower budget film, but even with lower budget, you know, if you do it right, you can still make bank on it. Joker is proof of that.
Yeah.
Well, Assassin's Creed is going to be on my list because I did not realize Michael Fassbender was in this. So that is, he's my top 5. So
I heard
he
he's
might be number
Fassbender out too. So I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's not many more I can think of. I mean, there's games that are about movies about video games. Like Wreck-It Ralph is great, but it's not a video game movie technically, is it? Because it didn't originate from a.
Well,
is there a Contra movie?
It's got Kubert and it's got.
There wasn't a Contra movie.
There wasn't. There should be a Contra movie.
The closest thing
2D.
to
sorry.
What was there was something that my uncle said was like the closest thing to a Contra movie was what is it called?
Schwarzenegger movie.
Hamburger Hill.
No, something Nash.
Tango and Nash?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Tango and Cash? Tango and Cash. Yeah.
Patrick Swayze, or Patrick, damn it, Kurt Russell. What am I saying?
Yeah. Those two, he said, were probably the only two that could pull off like being in a Contra movie. I'm like,
that was my biggest thing on Guardians Volume 2. You got Tango and Cash in a fucking movie. You didn't put them together in a scene. Complete loss, James Gunn. You blew it. You blew it.
Yeah.
Oh, I never saw this movie, and I'm so glad that I didn't. But there was a Rampage movie.
I've seen it not because I wanted to see it, because it just happened to be on where I was at, and there was nothing else to do while I was waiting but sit and watch it.
Yeah, Greg.
So how was it?
I mean, I'm a big Dwayne Johnson fan, but he kind of gets to the point where he'll take any kind of role, and sometimes I'm like, man, maybe you shouldn't have taken this role. It was an okay movie.
He doesn't care,
but it's not something I can go back and watch again, and it's not something that I would recommend for anybody. Like, you got to see this movie, you know. So yeah, it was.
If there's like absolutely nothing else, then maybe, right?
While we're talking about old movies, can I just tell you how much in love with the old Sonya Blade I was from the first Mortal Kombat movie?
Oh my gosh!
I freaking this one.
Damn!
No! Freaking! Do you know where I first saw her though? Besides the first Mortal Kombat movie, Billy Madison.
Oh,
yeah, she's
the teacher.
Okay,
right.
Vicky Valancourt. She's Vicky Valancourt. Is that from? That's the girlfriend.
I don't know.
I think it is. Yeah,
I think so.
Vicky Valancourt. Sounds right.
But I will say although it's based off of a spin-off video game, it did build a really beautiful world that I really hope they continue. Detective Pikachu.
Haven't seen it yet.
So it's
technically that's based off an animated series and off of their manga and shit. So technically that came from the manga first.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really
because I thought
the Pokemon came from a manga that got adapted into anime that got adapted into games and stuff.
But the Detective Pikachu title is a video game for the DS.
You're okay.
For the Nintendo DS.
You're right.
So technically it did come off of a spinoff.
Yeah, you're right.
But if you watch the movie, it builds a really cool world that you truly believe Pokemon can be a part of. And I'm like, man, they could legitimately make a Pokemon movie that is based off of like how the TV show is with the 7 badges, the Elite Four, and all of that. And I really hope they try.
What was that movie? It's not based off an actual thing, but they tried to make it like it was a hardcore Harry. It was almost like like you were playing a video game, and like the way that it was shot. Right? I never saw it, but people were comparing it to like a first person.
I know what you're talking about.
Like it was a first person shooter, and like your guy was basically a video game character. I don't know. It's not based on anything, but I just figured it's worth throwing in the conversation.
Well, there was if you're talking about movies that are based off of video games, you can throw in Tron.
Yeah.
Tron, that's a big one. I just recently saw the very first one about 4 years ago. I had never seen it, and I thought that I had, but must have just dreamt it or whatever. I love the second one.
I know, yeah, we did too.
Legacy?
Yeah, it was.
I've never seen either. Cool. I've never seen either one.
No, they're cool. Yeah,
it's a really cool concept.
There's an animated series that ties into both of those movies too. There's like a 1-season animated series on it. It might be on Disney Plus, but it's like the CGI animation, and supposedly it's canon with the 2 movies.
Really?
Yes, it's like 10 episodes or 12 episodes or something. Because Disney, it was right before Disney bought Star Wars, because they were building Tron up to be their Star Wars, and then they bought Star Wars, so they said fuck that and scrapped it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, forget about Tron.
But if I had to recommend, like just right off the bat, hey, what's an old video game movie that you would recommend somebody? I don't remember it too much, but I remember. Well, no, I remember Mark Wahlberg being a pretty good character in this movie. Max Payne. Max Payne was a really fun video game for me back in the day. It was a game that me and my dad would play it over and over and over again.
Just eating pills and shit, getting drunk on both, killing
GoldenEye.
Technically you can. Well, no, because I think GoldenEye came out after the movie, so can't technically say that. But technically, maybe.
But technically,
maybe.
Yeah, I think that video game was based off the movie. Yeah.
I know a video game movie they need to make.
What's
That would be Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Yeah.
Oh wait, can we technically say, what is it? The Squadrons, the one that Patty Jenkins is making. Can we technically say that that's going to be a video game remake? Kind of.
Maybe, possibly. We'll have to see the characters she puts in there.
You know what? That is a good idea, though. Are there any video games right now that you would love to see as a movie to be successful? Because I could think of one right off the bat. Horizon Zero Dawn. You could do a great movie.
Oh my gosh, freaking Alloy would be an amazing character.
Horizon Zero Dawn will be an awesome movie.
It's like like if anybody doesn't know Horizon Zero Dawn, it's like a weird apocalyptic, but at the same time, like beginning of like a new era of life. It's really weird. It's wonky. It's like millions of years, or I say millions, but I don't exactly know.
That's like Destiny in the mix. God.
Well, there was rumors of a Fallout movie. There was rumors of shit. What was it? I completely lost it. Fuck. It was in the same realm of like PlayStation. Oh, no. Completely different company, Xbox. They tried it. It turned into a series, but I still think it could be a really cool movie franchise if they want to dish out the money for it. If they don't want to dish out the money for it, you can't do it. Halo.
Oh, absolutely. I was gonna say that.
But you have to put the money into it. 100%.
Dude, I want to see that Needler in action.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I think that will be one of those things that you have to nail Master Chief, whoever plays him. He has to be like, he has to be. People have to look at whoever plays Master Chief like they look at Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man.
No. See, because here's the beautiful thing about Master Chief: you never see his face.
Right.
So you have if anybody doesn't know the story about Master Chief's voice, he's a radio DJ in California, or he was. I don't know what he's doing nowadays, but he just randomly auditioned and they were like, holy crap, that's an amazing voice. You're going to be in our video game. Like, you could still get that guy and have him be the voice of Master Chief, and you never see.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
But I will say one of the biggest things now is you pay for the actor's face. You know, that's why we hardly ever see superheroes in Marvel movies wear their masks. And it's the truth. Like, you pay Robert Downey Jr. to see Robert Downey Jr. You pay Chris Evans to see Chris Evans.
Yeah.
So if they were to put somebody in the Master Chief suit, you would have to, take his helmet off, unfortunately.
Yeah, at some point. It's basically why you saw Mandalorian take his helmet off a couple of times during the Mandalorian. Don't think the helmet coming off would be a thing, but you're gonna have to see the actor.
I want to see Gears of War.
Gears of War could be.
I thought that was in the works.
I think it was, but I don't think it ever came to fruition. That was when that'd be a good one. That was when I had tried to play, but I always watched Brian play it. I just loved that game. It was the first one.
Give me an Injustice live action movie.
Yes.
That would be pretty awesome. I mean, the Injustice short movie, just from the video clips in the game, is an awesome movie. Give me that live action.
What's up?
Shoot, let's do Nate, do it up, Newspaper Boy. Back to the Future. Yeah. Let's go old school, man. Well, wait, we got Back to the Future movies. Never mind.
So I still think it's in the works, because I think recently Dave Bautista said that he tried out for the role.
He was supposed to be. He was supposed to be what, Phoenix?
Yeah, he was supposed to be in Gears of War, and apparently they didn't want him.
Okay.
They didn't want Drax. What?
Well,
they want to hear about his famously large turds. So.
Well, us talking about all these movies, just historically, movies based off video games typically are not that great, but I think people are expecting a lot of things out of them that maybe they're not going to get, because a lot of these movies you're not going to get a deep fleshed out story. Some of you will, like Resident Evil. I think it's got more of a story, but like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, it's the same reason I went to Godzilla versus Kong and I wanted to see monsters fighting and destroying cities. When I go to see a movie like Mortal Kombat, I want to see badass fight scenes with nostalgic one-liners.
Then there's certain characters that you better see.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I got with Mortal Kombat. And I got to say that watching this one this week, it might be my favorite, like maybe it's recency bias. It might be my favorite video game movie. Damn. That, I really enjoyed it.
Be on the other side of the spectrum.
All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and dip out here. See you guys later.
Well, and look, I'm not gonna say I enjoyed the story, okay? Because like I said, I didn't go to it for a story. I went to it for good fight scenes. And we didn't.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. This and the 1995 movie are the exact same, with better CGI and better fight choreography. Otherwise, it's the exact same movie.
Maybe that's.
I hope the hell it has better 2021. I hope the hell it has better CGI.
And I feel like Nathan is going to be a little bit on my side on this. I'm not entirely sure, but when it comes to movies nowadays, like, you're right. I had maybe a little bit of high expectations on Godzilla versus Kong. But when it comes to movies nowadays in 2021, I would hope that you can at least make a story out of any movie that you are in charge of.
I thought there was a little bit of a story. It might not
this
be
story.
Like
this story one, was. This story was. Hey,
where was the tournament?
Thank you.
The whole fucking thing is.
Thank you. That is the whole entire point of Mortal Kombat. Is you make a tournament. And here's the easiest thing you could have done. Here's the easiest thing you could have done.
Yeah, that was a little muddy.
Easily said, hey, because I think it's Cole is the new character, which by the way,
what the fuck was Liu Kang? Like, why were we looking through his eyes?
Sarah saw my tweet
or something,
Sarah saw my tweet about the Cole character, and I just want everybody else to know this. Cole and Jason David Frank have the exact same freaking acting coach. They are horrible. Absolutely horrible. If you actually
right.
If you listen to his dialogue, he delivers every fucking word just like Jason David Frank does in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
What the hell was his
absolutely horrible.
What was his unlocked power? He got weird.
He like absorbed,
and then he got
he has a Black Panther suit basically.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
his power. He has a Black Panther suit.
Now that suit is kind of weird because I'm like, what is this?
I will say I did not like that. I thought the suit looked really stupid. I thought you could have done that power without the suit.
Man,
and been just fine.
Jax. Like he thought his whole life he's gonna have to have these little gimpy arms that didn't hardly do anything. And he's like, my power unlocked and they're huge muscle arms. It's like, why didn't you just? We got Goro. We got Goro in this universe. Like we got flying flat blade. You can't just put beast arms on.
You cannot tell me, and I'm sorry, you cannot tell me Goro wouldn't fucking go up to Cole and literally rip him in half, just like the freaking wall art showed.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was the little glyphs on the wall that like told his history, and then Goro comes up and just like gives him a bear hug. Bullshit.
Well, look, you know, Goro. I had to look at him in this one. I got to give him credit. They were able to get Mark Ruffalo's Hulk.
Better.
Maybe, but in this one they were able to get Mark Ruffalo's Hulk and the Giant.
95 Goro looked better.
They look like claymation.
Even with the weird buggy eyes.
CGI is better. I will give him that. CGI is better.
I think character-wise, I think in the 95 film, I think he was a better character. He wasn't like because he didn't really felt like a filler character. Yeah, he was just like a filler. Like they threw him in there just for fan service.
Yes,
but he looked like Mark Ruffalo's Hulk and the Giant from BFG. Which who the hell names a movie BFG? When you hear BFG and it's about a giant, what do you think? Big fucking giant.
My daughter watched that the other day. That's why I looked at Ron. I was like, oh.
If you play any video game, and I think it's what is it, Doom? BFG is the big fucking gun. That's what it stands for. Yeah. But also, this movie, you're absolutely right. It should be a popcorn flick that I'm having fun with. Yeah. But I am not having fun.
No.
I try to get too deep.
There is literally nothing moving this movie at all.
Luke Kang won't Luke Kang. He won't. No. Luke Kang.
I'm watching it, and like Jax with his flimsy arms. I totally look over my wife and said, "Watch, his power is going to be. Look, I'm super strong, and my arms are going to turn into big metal, muscly arms." Yep, it happened. I said, "Watch." Sonya Blade's going to get the mark from Kano. Which, by the way, why the fuck was Kano chosen? You know what I mean? Like, watch, she's going to kill him, and she's going to become one of them. And if she wasn't supposed. It was I was calling it out.
Why are they treating these powers like they're mutants from X-Men?
2 seconds.
I know that was crazy.
Like, it's exactly how the X-Men were. If you just push to like just like how fucking Deadpool got his powers in the movie. If we just stress him out enough, he's gonna have his powers. They're not fucking mutants. I'm sorry, they're not. But they are gifted from like the way they explain it in this movie is that they were chosen, and if they were chosen, they should have had the fucking power to begin with. I'm sorry.
Well, no,
it's just
a manifestation.
No, there were some that were chosen that were but you were chosen if you killed one, that you were worthy of having it because you killed one, and there were some that were born with it that were in the heritage. So I mean, you could get it a couple different ways, but I mean, how many different ways can you put it out there? They could have just not explained anything at all and said these people have these powers.
Hey.
I mean,
Lau and his hubcap helmet. Okay, it was cool when he sawed that guy in half, but man, there was a couple.
That was pretty cool.
When
just laying there.
But also, I saw this, and this just is me being me. But I was on TikTok just today. Just today, I was on TikTok, and there was one that was like, "Hey, did anybody else notice this?" And it was his hat, sawing that chick in half, and then it like changed to the video game doing the same thing. I'm like, yeah, that's the whole fucking point. You're supposed to do things that are in the video game, and if you show me the fatalities, that's cool. But don't give me finish him. Fatality. Like, no,
those once. Yeah.
The only reason why those should be said is if there is a commentator in a fucking tournament. And guess what? There is no tournament.
You know what?
There is no tournament.
I think the guy that did this movie was like, Sub-Zero is fucking badass. He's so cool, and I'm gonna show people why. Because he was the best character in this entire movie. His fight scenes were the best. It's just everything was his powers were the best fleshed out. Like somebody was like, I fucking love Sub-Zero. I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna come in here and shine.
Then they should have made a fucking Sub-Zero movie.
Then he was like,
they shouldn't have ruined like this movie with everybody else in it.
Well, maybe that's my thing. Is maybe they could have done this as more of like a movie series where they introduced a few of these characters built up to a tournament, and maybe they rushed everything.
Now,
well, that's how the ending. That's how the ending kind of stands.
Looks like it might be setting up for
because there was one that we were missing.
A lot of people are saying, "Oh, this is just the beginning movie. The tournament's going to be in the next one." I'm like,
who said they were guaranteed a number 2?
They're not, but I will tell you,
they're saying this wasn't a number 2.
That doesn't mean you can't write it and set up for a number 2. Yeah.
No, so
nice.
Seriously, but Nathan, I don't know if you've heard this. This did better than Godzilla vs. Kong and Zack Snyder's Justice League combined.
I don't know.
Can I tell you why? Can I tell you what it is? It's like I said, I didn't particularly care for the story, but I wasn't looking for that. It had some awesome fight scenes. That opening scene with Sub-Zero and Scorpion before their Sub-Zero and Scorpion was a
but the way he was playing that around, I was like, that's building it up. I love that.
No,
you put all 7 minutes online to catch people, and then you're like, hey, you have to watch another hour and 53 minutes of bullshit. Like,
yeah, I mean, the second fight with him was good. One thing I enjoyed, throughout the whole movie, they would have moments where it would stop and it would be two people fighting, like you're in the game and you just pick these two players to fight, and it would have the backgrounds from the games and all kinds of different things. I thought that was cool, and it was just a minute you'd have a back and forth battle. I liked it, but I mean, I get it.
But again, like, yes, Cole was like, oh, we'll give them a tournament of our own, but it wasn't a tournament. That's like, it's
there was too much implied before they even got there, because it was already saying that what was the other world they were like one tournament away or one victory away from taking over Earth. So I mean, it implied there was like all this other history that you should already know about.
You needed movie star action hero Johnny Cage there, so you know what I'm saying. Like,
now there's a lot of people. So I'll ask you guys this, because it is a topic of conversation on Twitter. Who do you want to be Johnny Cage if there's a second movie?
I want an unknown.
So a very popular fucking Jackman. So there's two popular actor names that are being thrown into the hat. Okay. One of them being Oliver Queen himself, Stephen Amell from Arrow.
Yeah, I can see that.
As Johnny Cage.
No, I can see that.
No.
Or
he would fit into this movie though.
He would definitely fit in this movie. No, I just feel like his
stiff acting and stuff. Like no disrespect, but he's not the best actor. Like if you watch the Turtles 2 movie, his Casey Jones is his Oliver Queen. Same cadence, same delivery. Like that's so far that's his range. I haven't seen him in this wrestling show, which I do want to watch, but
same.
So far he's not.
But I feel like he could definitely play like the douchey Johnny Cage. Like I definitely feel like he can.
You know what? You're right. But I don't want him to get Sonya Blade because like Stephen Amell, not me.
The second name that is very popular is Ryan Reynolds. This movie could not afford. This movie could not afford Ryan Reynolds.
See, look, you got two tiers. You got your Ryan Reynolds up here, and then you had your Stephen Amell down here. We need somebody like right here. Let's close this gap a little bit.
I don't think them not being able to afford Ryan Reynolds would be the big issue, because Ryan Reynolds is the kind of guy that if it's something he wants to do, that won't matter. If he wants to do it, he's going to do it.
I mean, I guess that's true,
But I mean, I don't think
so the actor talking about Sub-Zero, the actor for Sub-Zero signed on for 4 movies.
Get the fuck out of here.
4. Now there is no guarantee, like you said, there is no guarantee that they're even going to get a second one. But with how popular it is, they've already announced that there's already going to be another monster movie in the works right now called The Son of Kong or whatever.
Let's go back to 97 and because 95, the first Mortal Kombat did good enough to get number 2 Annihilation.
We can't talk about that one.
So
you're right. He is right though.
Just saying.
They are most likely they're gonna make a second one. I know that they are.
Yeah, definitely. Will it be another Annihilation? Possibly.
Quite possibly.
Quite possibly.
But I don't know, guys. It's just this movie. I was wanting more story. Like,
Okay.
yes, give me the fights. The choreography was cool. Don't get me wrong. But as soon as I saw Liu Kang do the freaking sweeping the leg move 3 times, just like a cheap guy would do in a freaking one-on-one fight.
They used to do it all the time. That's like Fireball.
Exactly. You don't know any of the combos. So what are you gonna do? Duck and kick, duck and kick, duck and kick, and you're just gonna see the animation of your guy freaking falling.
Now I did like the story of Scorpion though. I did like that. I thought that was a little bit. I mean, that was kind of woven in. So that's probably about the only story that you really have.
The only problem is that Sub-Zero and Scorpion are the only good parts of this movie.
Yes.
Like that's unfortunately the only thing.
And
if you could have named
honestly,
it Mortal
that's
Kombat,
what I was looking for.
You could have called it Mortal Kombat and only kept those 2 people in the movie and call it a prequel. Honestly, that's what you
absolutely.
You could have brought in the reptile that's like the human version and Smoke and had 4 of them go in there together. Because I remember playing those games where you had the gray, the green,
just like Sarah was talking about. There's a story that people are assuming that we all know, right? That story could have been a little bit more of the other world or other Earth or whatever they want to call it. And, we actually could have seen fighting from Raiden because this looks like an already weathered Raiden. He didn't do anything.
What did you think of Raiden?
He didn't do anything. He used his lightning as a teleporter with a portal. And then he used
Highlander guy, I'll tell you that.
He used the freaking dude. That is true. That is true.
Because Lord Raiden in '95 was the Highlander guy, and what's up? That's my Raiden.
Christopher Lambert. I liked him.
I do.
I didn't mind it.
I do too.
I like his sarcasm.
I saw somebody say that this Raiden in this movie should have been Jackie Chan, so that way we could have seen actual fighting. I don't know how I feel about that.
Let's go with Jet Li.
I would be down with
because kick Jackie Chan in the fucking throat.
Freaking the villain in this movie,
the Emperor.
Yeah,
is it Emperor?
I can't remember the evil guy's name. I'm looking it up right now.
Like
the
TSU Shang or something like that. I can't remember.
His name is.
I feel like I should know this.
Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung, that's what it is.
Yeah. Right. So he is played by Chin Han. Chin Han is the rich guy in The Dark Knight that Batman takes from Japan in that giant building.
Okay. He's the money holder. He's the accountant.
Yes. He's the accountant. Yeah. He played what was his name again? Shang Tsung. He was horrible in this movie. No, he had no range whatsoever. He didn't seem intimidating whatsoever. The only thing they did to make him intimidating was black eyes. That was it.
Okay. Some of the characters, I gotta get that. I wasn't a huge fan of the Drax character.
What was Batgirl doing in there? Where the fuck did she come from? She came in just to get beaten up. The chick with the bat wings. Like, what the hell
she was supposed to be like some kind of assassin or whatnot.
I think she was just a throwaway character. That's why she got killed very, very quickly.
It was two halves of her now.
She played Nataria, and she literally, she came in, flew in, and got freaking split in half. That's it.
Yeah. What y'all think about Kano? I kind of liked that character. He was a little.
He was kind of tip for tat for the '95 because both of them were both jerks and assholes. And
I missed the faceplate, but the character, what he was doing, he was pretty spot on with the character. Like that actor did a good job portraying the dickhead. Like I think he did good in his role, but come on, if he's gonna have one, eye beam, at least give him the fucking plate. Come on, guys.
Yeah,
maybe
because there's a tease to the plate or with the eye with him getting the claw marks on his face, and you're like, as soon as I saw him get his face ripped, I thought it was going to be like a whole chunk of his face missing, and then they would put the plate on him, but they didn't even do that. So
they half-assed this movie all the way around, in my opinion.
Yeah,
maybe I was in that just amazed by the fight scenes.
Walked all over this movie.
Don't worry, Greg. I was there with you, dude. The nostalgia is what got me because I'm just like, oh, we got a new version, we got a new something, But you can pick good parts and then pick
7-year-old
equally
Sarah
bad parts
about nostalgia.
I also want y'all to know that
you don't want to do what I was doing in '95.
I was 3 years old, so I don't know.
I was in 5th grade, '95. Okay, so
I was already driving.
I wasn't far off,
man.
I want to put it out there that while I'm talking about this movie and defending this movie, this is a video game movie, so it's rated on a different scale. Now, what you were talking about, Nathan, where Godzilla vs. Kong, way better movie. I agree with you 100% on there. Just on a video game scale, this might be one of my favorite video game movies. As far as movies go, it's a horrible movie. Not horrible movie. It's not a great movie. It's a great video game movie.
This one, okay?
Right. It's a great video game movie that brought back a lot of nostalgia from a game that I used to love. And that was what I was going into it looking for, and it's exactly what I got with great fight scenes. Maybe that's why I enjoyed it, enjoyed it. But yeah, that was it for me. I didn't need a huge story. I know enough about Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
See,
well, that's another movie for another day. But
yeah.
Why can't they redo that one? Oh my god, that would be insane.
Yeah,
they should redo that one
with the freaking Lana Lang.
I want Van Damme back in there too, though. I want Van Damme back in there. Like, come on.
Do y'all remember the Street Fighter movie that came out in like 2010?
No, there was a Street Fighter. Was it animated?
Was it?
No, it was a live action. So if anybody has seen Smallville, the woman who played Lana Lang, Kristen Crook, she played
Chun-Li.
Yeah.
I might remember that. Hold on, let me look that
So Street Fighter, let me actually see what year it was.
No, it was 09. It was Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li.
Yeah.
Sounds like we might need to do a movie review on that one here on Super Civil Servants. Everybody take a view of that one.
I saw that one.
Michael Clark Duncan was in this movie. Freaking
Neil McDonough was Bison.
Yeah, Neil McDonough was Bison. Yeah.
Was it worth checking out?
No.
Okay.
Like even in 09. Even in 09. Dude, so
Street Fighter, if you want to watch Street Fighter 2, the animated follow-up to the fucking movie, because that movie is worth it. That the animated movie that came out in the 90s, Street Fighter 2, that movie is.
Oh, that's There's actually a Street Fighter anime. That's like 8 episodes. That was very good. But I will just tell you the scale of the 09 movie. If anybody knows who Taboo is, he is one of the Black Eyed Peas. He played Vega.
Okay.
I can see that.
Okay. Well,
I can see that.
There goes that.
Yeah.
And I like Vega. That was a cool character.
I watched this movie just because, of course, I played video games all as a kid. And so I was in high school when this movie came out. And I was like, dude, this is a video game movie. I got to watch this movie. And yeah, I'm so glad that I worked at the movie theaters at this time because I'm so glad I did not waste any money on this movie.
Yeah. Okay.
And which is the same reason why I'm so glad I didn't waste any money on Mortal Kombat is because I get HBO Max for free through my AT&T plan.
There you go.
So didn't waste any money.
Nice.
Just my time.
Cool. Anything else y'all want to bring up about Mortal Kombat?
No.
We're kind of split down this one. I think 2 of us liked it, 2 of us didn't. But hey, that's part of it, man. Some people like stuff.
We're gonna break the pool cue and throw it in the middle of the room. It's gonna be a fight to the death.
That's right.
Goes out on top.
Hey, opinions. You know what they said about opinions.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
exactly.
All right, man. Well, I got nothing else to talk about tonight. No, we went on. Y'all want to go ahead and head on out of here? I got to be up in
let's mosey on out.
5 hours for work. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Yeah, we've always got 2 hours in here, so I mean that's pretty good.
Good deal. All right, well,
and I miss chasing squirrels, so we had one of those.
We definitely had a squirrel full night. It was
definitely
fun.
Did that.
Cool. Well, all right, man. Well, Sarah, where can they find you at?
You can still find me on Twitter. I'll still bounce around there. So My Lady Kitten. Hopefully you'll see me more on Friday nights here at SES. Sometimes you can catch me talking a little Carolina football. You know, maybe I'll show up on C3 another time. Who knows?
There you go. I liked it.
But I'm just around here. So yeah.
Check her out. Check out all her stuff. That's all right. Clay, where can they find you, buddy?
Peter, listen up.
All right, so let me I'm writing all these down to make sure that I have them all.
Yes, because your list has grown.
Yes, it has, and I believe that I have them all written down now. So I'm going to name my regular shows, and I'll name some that I've actually been a part of just recently this week. So you can find me on Mondays, DC Alliance podcast. I am the new host over there. We're live on Mondays. Podcast will be live on Tuesdays. Then I have Batman News Weekly podcast, the Comic Book Legion podcast, the Weird Science Marvel podcast, as well as the Weird Science DC podcast. And then, of course, the Ranger Alliance podcast on the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. Now, I have been a guest on superhero discussions recently because of the JSA movie, as well as a creator spotlight guest co-host on the World's Finest True Believers. So I have been very busy.
Great. But is it like you're with your ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend? Is that what like here? This show? Is that what it's like?
No, I'm just we talked separately. I told, and we've said this on air. Without Greg, there would be no Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. Let's just be completely honest. Greg was the man with the plan. I am nothing like Greg when it comes to DC Alliance. I still have to fill some really big shoes. I know that I'm gonna have some very polarizing.
You got a big cow to fill.
Well, I'm gonna have some polarizing opinions this next episode. So it's gonna be kind of crazy how people will kind of think what I am as far as the new DC host. So
well, dude, I appreciate the kind words, man. I really do. And you know, I consider it an upgrade. You and Travis are gonna knock it out of the park, man. I appreciate you stepping up, and I'll be back on the show guesting, I'm sure, at some point in time. Just got to get some things straight. But
Greg's in the back was mine being like, yeah, but I still did her better.
He'll still be thinking of me whenever he hits the edit button, you know? Edit.
And before we jump on
Nathan,
I'm trying to point to Nathan over here. I say this every single time, but Nathan, thank you so much for pointing me in the direction of the Bane trilogy on Audible.
Yeah.
I am 26 chapters in. There's 30 of them.
I gotta buy some new ones.
Yeah, it is so good.
Okay.
I think
Bane is a very cool character.
I'm unfortunately going to be finished with the book 2 weeks earlier than I thought I was going to be. So I have to wait until I can get the second one, but it has been amazing.
Pretty cool. I might check that out because I got some credits. I haven't bought anything in like 2 months, I think. And
I just finished the new Strong book that came out Tuesday. I already finished it today.
Nice.
Very, very cool. Nathan, where can I find you at, man?
Right here, Friday evenings, 9 o'clock Greg time, 8 o'clock my time. We come join us, hang out here, and then I still do Star Wars Alliance with Katie every other Sunday morning, most of the time.
Yeah, I want to join you guys again. So
yes, absolutely. The more the merrier.
Oh, just by the way, Nathan, also, I think there's going to be a day where Katie has to step out. I'm really trying to convince her that the Last Jedi conversation that me and you were trying to have will be taking place. So,
can I referee?
Yes. we encourage everybody.
Can I commentate?
Early on a Sunday.
You referee, I'll commentate.
I want to referee that one.
I like that.
There might be. I mean, while we're talking about maybe changes or whatever, it'll all get worked out. But I mean, you got guys like August 2nd is when my daughter's supposed to be coming. So it is coming. It's coming close. Like with all the shows and stuff, we'll work around it accordingly. But I need to get on to do another slice of film with Katie because I want to talk about something else with her other than because I did all 4 of the 90s Batmans with her. So I want to jump.
That was very entertaining.
I want to try to rope her into doing like the Bonds or something, like the Daniel Craig Bonds, because I love Daniel Craig's Bond. Like I love him as Bond.
Give me a reason to rewatch.
Do those.
Give me a reason to rewatch.
But I hear the Star Wars Alliance.
I'm still waiting for the new one though. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, me too. Me too, Sarah. I'm still waiting.
About About it, man. You can find me at the Bat Daddy 52 on Twitter. Very rarely. Hit me up. I'm not on there very much, and I'll tell you something. I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm.
Just checking Twitter once a day, and you know, okay, cool. It's pretty good. But other than that, you can find me here.
The world burning down around you every 4 seconds.
That's right. Other than that, just find me here. Live Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. That's the only place I'm guaranteed. I'll pop around different places, but other than that, just here, check it out. So,
I'm telling you, the internet would have you believe the entire world's on fire now. There's just cloaks and lynch mobs, and I promise, walk outside and put the phone down. It's not whatever. That's neither here nor there. Love you guys. We'll see you later.
Y'all good. Keep pounding.